Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 737, we're going to talk about Breena the Demagogue. So for 3 mana, we get a 1/3 flying bird warlock. Okay. With a curious block of text. Whenever a player attacks one of your opponents, if that opponent has more life than another of your opponents, the attacking player draws a card and you put 2+1/+1 counters on a creature you control. So, if we are the player attacking an opponent, we get the card draw and the tokens, or the counters. So, but if one of your opponents does it, they get to draw a card. Now, is that enticing enough to get your opponents to swing at your other opponents? Sometimes. But, so really, I sat down and thought, how would I go about building this deck? And I was like, okay, I need creatures. Well, that's just about every deck. That's a lot. So we are in black and white, and I had thought, well, there are a lot of creatures that rotate around in black and white around, life gain. And we just need bodies to draw cards and do things and whatnot. So first, let's go through our mana fixing. We'll do it real quick. Soul Ring, Marble Diamond, Orzhov Signet, Star Compass, Guardian Idol, Orzhov Locket. Got to have the Pristine Talisman if we're thinking about life gain, right? Oketra's Monument, Cisse's Ring, Orzhov Cluestone, and the Bantu's Monument. I love the 2 monuments. They're awesome, which in theory, any deck could run all 5. Just simply because they do not have a color identity, so they are true artifacts. But especially the Bantu casting that creature. But let's look at our creature suite, shall we? Because that's what we're here for. The Soul Sisters of Soul Warden and Attendant, Suture Priest, Child of Night, Vampire Nighthawk. Just good life gain. And Vampire Nighthawk that's a card I would love to be mounting up some +1/+1 counters on it. What about you? Killian, Lifelink, Menace. Yeah, it's really good, especially if we can, mount up counters on him. Kambal, opponent casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 and we gain 2. Gary, because the Gray Merchant of Asphodel is pretty good. Laisa, it's got flying and lifelink, and it's 5/5, and cast a spell, lose 2 life. Not going to mean that much to us because we've got so much life gain. Hey, Pontiff of Blight having the extort and giving everything extort. That makes mana production at a premium because if every spell you've got, you spend 1 more and drain everybody for 1. Yeah. Treasury Thrall doesn't see a whole lot of love. I'll admit, and I'm to blame there. This may be one or 2 decks I have that has it. Death Pact Angel, Defiant Bloodlord, Soul of Eternity if we're doing the life gain thing. Regna. No, not running Krav, but just somehow I got Regna in the binder and not Krav. I know they came lockstep, but I think I may have used Krav for something else by himself. But if we gain life, we get some White Warrior tokens. Angel of Despair is just it's a good beater on a Vindicate, right? And then Chancellor of the Dross, flying lifelink 6/6. Hey, let's look at our weird stuff. Now, Debtor's Knell, just gonna. We are in white and black, so we have a lot of removals. So the Debtor's Knell should have enough targets to be useful, right? Debt to the Deathless is just an awesome finisher. Whip of Erebos, giving all of our creatures lifelink, and then we can whip things back into play. There's Regna Sanction. This is a huge, huge political tool. Choose friend or foe. So we cast it. My plan is to cast it and pause and see what the reaction from the table is. Not if it gets countered, but see if there are any offers to become a friend. Right? Siphon Soul's just in there for life gain, as in the Loxodon Warhammer. Poet's Quill. Approach of the Second Sun is a decent alternate win condition. And Gideon, Champion of Justice. Now, this is my favorite Gideon for Commander. Yeah, look at this. You add a loyalty to add more loyalty. So 4 mana comes in with 4. You're going to plus him up to 5. If somebody's got 3 or 4 creatures, whoa, right? Now, the problem with Planeswalkers in Commander is they die always, unless there is a decent amount of defense behind them. This one, you just, it's so good to mound up that loyalty. He can live through a lot of hits that way. Got a little bit of card draw and Sign in Blood, Crushing Disappointment, and Greed. I mean, we might as well be spending some of that life, right? Enchantment-wise, Ghostly Prison's going to help out quite a bit. Now, Ghostly Prison does not help the Planeswalker. It says you. Yeah. Blind Obedience, this, what I love about Blind Obedience is it nerfs the haste mechanic. If they come into play tapped, I don't care if they got haste or not. Ethereal Absolution. Tainted Remedy. And Sanguine Bond. And that brings us to... No, I don't have the other part of the Blood Bond combo because the other part is insanely expensive. But we have some removal. We have Celestial Purge. Echoing Decay is better than you think, okay? This is in there for tokens, for all kinds of, elves and squirrels and goblins and soldiers. And, there's been many times where you wish that you could just... Last night, I was playing in a spell table game with the One More Mana crew, and I would have loved to have had an Echoing Decay in my hand. Fracture, Disenchant, Unmake, Anguished Unmaking, Oblivion Ring. Yeah, a lot of removal in these colors. Mortify, Murder, Flay Essence, Pillory of the Sleepless. Consuming Vapors I really like because you gain life equal to its toughness. Council's Judgment Sub. It's a fun one. Each player votes for a non-land permanent you don't control. So a lot of things are... Well, at least one thing is going to die. And if the petty is good, several things will die, right? Fumigate and Planar Outburst are wipes, and then of course we have the Darksteel Mutation because in play but useless is one of my favorite things to do. Get a few utility lands, Orzhov Church of Deal, just to get that incremental life drain if we need it. If we have the mana available that turn, there's no reason to not to if you've got it. Rogue's Passage, of course. And then all the rest of these are straight up, we have the Command Tower, Evolving Wilds, Tainted Field, Salt Flats, Silver Quill Campus, Scoured Barrens, Orzhov Basilica, Forsaken Sanctuary, Orzhov Guildgate. I like those new Goldmire Bridge, those new indestructible artifact lands. And then the Snowfield Sinkhole. So that is Breena. As I said, kind of... I know there are better, more on-theme Breena builds out there. But that, I don't know. It's kind of what I wanted. But let's go put Breena on the wall, 737. And we will be done with that one. Like I said, I do appreciate everybody watching, and I'm doing a deck a day. It's gonna be that way until I get caught up, which at the way they're going, it may be a while. So I do appreciate it. Y'all let me know. Thank y'all so much. But we're gonna go ahead and shuffle and cut.